I'm sitting here with Harrison. You want to give your full name?
Full name is Harrison East Finnerman,
Okay.
Finerman, Finnerman, whatever last
Right.
name.
And these are things that obviously when I first met you, you were honestly probably one of the first two people that I ever met when I was living back in Oxnard about 4 years ago. I met you at 24 Hour Fitness. We used to hoop together, and like most hoop relationships, we started going to other courts where you would let me know where there's some good runs. I let you know where some
Oh yeah,
good runs. And that's
absolutely.
really, again, you were really one of the first friends I made living in that town. And so where this where this topic of the podcast comes in is I remember I shared a story with you. Um, I had run into some girl that I hadn't seen in like years, some girl from back home in the Bay Area, and she just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. And I remember sharing with you that she told me that
Mhm.
she had to end up moving back to Simi Valley because she really she went down by her standards, she said she went down a dark rabbit hole, ended up getting into really bad substance abuse.
Oh wow.
And when I said that to you, it looked like a huge weight was lifted off your shoulders. Like
It
you had
was
been.
internally like the weird part about it was because it hit the topic of addiction,
Mhm,
and I didn't really connect like I didn't see like I don't know how to describe it. I was still young, so I was still like really self like in my invested in myself. But
mhm,
it hit that area where it like you know how like I don't know if you like believe in intuitive like sometimes like you ever like touch someone and like you don't even know them like or give a hug to someone you'll see and just like the hug itself like and it might not be anything but like it heals because it's like vibrationally like your subconscious or your inner self or inner whatever knows that that person cares about you,
mhm,
and like and then like that's kind of the feeling I got when I met you and when you told me that
mhm,
you knew it was like dang like I know you're not an addict or nothing but
yeah.
like you empathize with that pain and yeah that shit was powerful I remember yeah and after that I remember I was like yeah I want Ox on my team all day
Yeah,
you
bro.
know
I remember you like again, like you're just saying now, but I could physically see like a weight being lifted off your shoulder, like you'd finally wanted to tell me something that you've been trying to tell me for a while, I guess, or at least that you're not ready to always share with people, right?
yeah
So,
yeah
which
no
was, and I'll let you take it from there. But you had told me, go ahead.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm a IV drug user. Not the craziest one, but like definitely had been, had experienced enough of it to know and like and it took me down a route of where it's very hard to recover from. Like,
Hmm.
and I remember like it was hard because I would get sober and it was still like I needed people like you in my life. I needed people like because like yeah, I was at a sober living like rehab facility type of thing. And the thing is like I needed people like whereas like okay like because like obviously they care and they support but then it was like hard to adjust to the real world because it's like okay you go in and you feel like you have this dirty secret that you can't like of what you are and
Hmm.
you can't share it because it's going to get scrutinized
Hmm.
or you're gonna be vulnerable to attack like and not like real attack but like like on the court people are gonna be like
Right.
they're gonna like be have a premature idea of you, and not really know what the experience is like. And I remember when you said that because I knew you weren't an IV user or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And or not saying I don't. That's what like I don't. You're not. Yeah. And like I know we drank a couple times, but like I wouldn't say you're addict or alcoholic, But I remember like you saying that where you're like I know, and I was like, dang, like, okay, I'm all right. I'm all right. We're in the real world and like there's understanding. Okay. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it was
Absolutely.
like that was the feeling I would get.
Yeah.
And if you want to go through I actually we're talking about the Bay, I'll give you a brief run. Like, if you want to go through your Bay experience and then I'll kind of tell you what
Well,
led me on to the Bay,
well,
you
yeah. I
know?
mean, so just real quick from there, I guess our from there, we continue to hoop a little bit. You helped me out. You DJ'd one of my comedy shows. I was in a pinch, and you had my back there. Um, there was a time when we illegally hired you for our basketball tournament
That was rad. That was what I was saying.
for the corporate games. I think we got silver medal. I think we got silver
Oh yeah, yeah,
or
second place.
bronze,
Yeah,
but you
they were
helped
fouling
our
us the whole game. That
right.
last game,
Yeah.
they, oh my gosh, that was insane. And like
Yeah.
that was like, I remember I came out so mad, and like you were always chill. You were like, dude, it's all right. And I was like, no, 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 like they fucking no, dude, no, they're cheating. And I was,
Listen. I went out there for the workout, and I love competition at the end of the day. But
yeah,
there was some BS calls, and we definitely should have won that game. I
yeah.
blame David Wilson, who is a friend of mine, actually, crazy enough. But anyway, neither here nor there. Thank you for illegally joining our basketball team to
Of
help us
course,
get even to
all
that
day,
level.
all day, all day.
So, and then that's kind of where we drop off. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know really what happened, but you ended up at some point reappearing back in my life. You told me you were thinking of moving to the Bay. I think we caught up once more after that, and really, it was now 2 to 3 years later, here we are today, and you reached out to me because you said you wanted to share your story now.
I wanted to share my story. Yeah, I was like at first like I just wanted to catch up honestly because I was
Yeah.
like, and I think I felt like that was the end, and then I guess it's this, which is I'm totally cool with. You know what I mean? Like that's rad. That's yeah. I remember I think I moved to the Bay. I've been up to the Bay back and forth a couple of times. I remember I went up to the Bay. I'll give you a little experience. So just briefly, I
Mhm.
went up to the Bay and so I drove up there a couple times and remember one of the times that stuck out is I went up there and the love that like I got, it was different. Like LA because like everyone had known me, but like I went up to the Bay and I remember I met a girl, a real cool girl. Like we were just friends, you know. And she was in the like tough chick. She was in the military and stuff.
Mhm.
And we met and I go up to her house and and it was like it was just weird to me because like I went up there and she's like no like I just want to like and it wasn't even on some like like some like have like intercourse whatever like sexual
Yeah.
relation stuff. It was more on some like like went up to like the Bay and like went over and we would just hang out and it was foreign but like I craved that like I craved that and I went up there and we hung out and she came down here and we hung out a couple times but anyway I was like seeking kind of that constant
Mhm.
went up there and I kind of roamed around. I don't know something about the vibe. I
Mhm.
went to like kind of like influence maybe I don't know if I met
Well,
you
which is
before
what's a real
probably,
thing. The vibe is a real thing. Absolutely.
yeah.
I don't know if the same things that people care about. That's how I would describe it. I think the things that people care about so far, what I've noticed in Southern California, are not the same immediate things that people care about in the Bay Area, right? The things that people cared about more that I noticed in like living in Ventura County and now Southern California is just a lot more superficial than maybe some of the things in the Bay that I noticed, right? People care more about what kind of person you are versus how you look and what kind of appearance you have.
Yeah, I think the Bay is a definitely an area where it's a vibe like LA, like like you can kind of skate by if you got money or if you got this or got that, your vibe doesn't
Or
get
even if you
checked. But
look
like
like you have money.
or if you look like you have money, exactly. Whereas in the Bay, what the and I got you the vibe is and you learn real quick. I think is that it's about like vibe checking. It's not even on some gangster I guess people gang bang or do whatever. I wasn't involved in any of that, but
Mhm.
it's like what it's more like it's not even about like what neighborhood you're in, East
Mhm.
Oakland, West Oak, like whatever. It's not even about that. It's about like you're honestly like it's on some
Who you
vibe
are.
checking stuff
Right.
exactly, and like and if you and they can see through it and then if like even like if they see you got a genuine heart which was like I noticed is that they'll the love is like they respect that they respect love, you know what I mean,
Absolutely.
and don't get me wrong, like some of the like there's some raw people like as far as that people are out there doing
Hmm.
whatever they're doing, but the thing is that the love is like the gold, the
Hmm.
currency, which was
Absolutely.
like that's what that was like I was and it took me out there and I kept on falling victim to obviously like drugs and alcohol was a big part of my
Hmm.
story, so I would lose track of that, but those days that I spent where I was in it, that was something that definitely I would say influenced my journey a lot. It was something
Hmm.
that I could like go back to as far as not even just the Bay, but I would connect the Bay with it. But then like as I did more introspection and deeper work, I would connect that like love is like what I was like really like as just as a person,
Craving.
as people like exactly like
Absolutely.
I think that's what we seek.
And so, before we jump into the full story, you are what a year now, clean and sober,
No, actually not. 136 days. Since
136
my
days.
yeah, I believe 136 or 137. I gotta look at the exact but one of those, either one of those.
And,
So
and where are you today?
I'm in Newberry Park actually right now. It's like
Okay.
Ventura County, near
Hmm.
Oxnard, a little outside of it.
Hmm.
And I'm out here in like I'm still in a treatment facility or what? Not treatment. It's a sober living. So like
Hmm.
you free. It's like kind of like a half. When you say that halfway home, like before, like with
For someone
COVID.
that has zero idea of what that is, break it down for a dummy.
So, well, no, it's a place like, as far as like, there's a couple levels to it. There's like detox where someone goes who's like fresh off, like getting recovered, like basically drugs are heavy in their system,
Hmm.
or they're, and they need to a place where basically it's kind of like lockdown with, but like it's like the better alternative to like going. Obviously, it's not as bad as jail, but it's like
Right.
someone who's like, okay, I'm gonna make the choice to get clean instead of like running it till it like goes out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like as far as like, so they make that choice and it's like an
Hmm.
environment where it's usually cushy, sometimes not. They get clean, they get off the drugs, and then most of the times they'll go to a treatment where it's like kind of like more like a little more freedom but still kind of governed and everything, and like what your day is planned out for you.
Hmm.
And then the halfway house, which I'm in now, is there's still a routine and a plan, but it's fully on your shoulders to do it, and you still get freedom. You can still work, you can still go out, you can still do what you need to do as far as throughout the day. And like like today I went out and just kind of hang down and looking for keeping a job in mind. Right now with COVID,
Hmm.
that's the one thing.
Hmm.
It's difficult. The reason it's kind of jammed me up is because with COVID, I which is I'm grateful for. It's more just like that's as far as work and stuff like
It's
that
been a
is
little bit
something
more
I'm looking.
difficult to find something a little bit more steady than before. I got you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's take it back, man. Young Harrison, where you want to start the Young Harrison story at?
Dang.
Because you were a hooper. I know you shared with me the old stories of
Okay.
being at
Okay.
all the camps, and I saw you
Okay.
at jersey number 136. So
Okay.
so I know you were for real. So
Okay.
let's take
So
where does
young for
the young Harrison story start?
we'll stay in the hooper. I played a lot of sports. Baseball was and basketball was first. I started off as a young in the Jewish YMCA rec league,
Mm,
which is and I had like a little gold jersey,
hmm.
and I used to to shoot. My dad would I used to play that, like go with
I
my
met
dad. And
Pops too. Pops is
Pops,
hilarious.
funny as
He
like
he
right.
was trying to roast me on stage one time. You brought him to one of my shows.
Oh yeah, he was like told his joke. He's trying to
Right,
get you to tell his jokes.
right.
Oh my gosh, that was yeah. That's the type of guy he is. And then he would like come up to me at the house, and he would be like, "Yo, yo." He'd be like, "Come over here." He'd be like, "All right, well," and like try to discreetly throw it in.
Hmm.
But he's like, "I got a joke for your friend. He's a comedian." I would like act
Yeah,
because I love my dad. Dude, like
yeah.
I would try
Pops.
to like in my soul was like, come on, but like I love him so much that like
Yeah.
and he would tell jokes, and some of them would hit sometimes. He had some,
Hmm.
I mean, in the moments, but like he would kind of recycle the same jokes. But like, yeah, we'd be kids and we go to the Maccabee Jewish League, like
Hmm.
the YMCA, and then it kind of elevated to like just Park League playing. But basketball is where honestly all my discipline. I would say basketball more so than baseball because it's a hands-on sport.
Hmm.
You're acting like when you're training. Baseball is a little different because you're so separated from like
Hmm.
your pitching, your batting. It's like
Yeah.
there's a separation between you and the coach. With
Right.
basketball, it's like it's like one of my coaches actually pulled up, like this is older, obviously, not not a kid anymore, but I was an adult.
Hmm.
And he pulled us up to me, and I remember because I was like, this is a funny story. This is later on. So we're at the Equinox in LA, and
Right.
I'm playing basketball with Brian Scalabrine from the Celtics
Right.
is playing this dude Norvell, who was so my coach Rambo, coolest dude, and he used to train us, and like he was a ball handling coach. So I was like, like he had everything in his bag. And then and I was kind of resentful because like he could handle the ball better than me, and like I wanted to beat him, but like I would
Right.
listen when we were training. But like when Brian Scalabrine walked in, I saw my chance. I'm like, oh okay, that's the white mama right there. I'm
Right.
getting him on my team. And
Right.
then Rambo had this dude Norvell Pell, who's in the NBA, I believe right now too, like 6'10",
Hmm.
tall, real good basketball player. And so I got Scalabrine on my team, and like, and it wasn't that we ended up beating him because Scalabrine was like, like at that time Norvell I think was in college still, so it
Hmm.
wasn't like, and he kind of just Scalabrine got him on experience just because he was a little older. You know, it wasn't even like that, but and he was moving the ball. And we had a couple other like Celtic. I don't know if they're like Celtics trainers or whatever. Like they were someone they were connected with Scal. So it was like, but we ended up beating them. And like, you know, I was talking shit. I was just that was where my journey in basketball. Like that's what, and I need to constantly be checked for it because I would speak out, and it wasn't with ill intent. It was like because but it just wasn't my place. I wasn't, you know,
You were
like
feeling yourself though.
I was. And we won. And I remember like the next day, he take like he said, I'm like, come up, and then like this is a big dude. Like his name's Rambo, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he's in my face, and I'm like, dang, no, like you know. And then and we went in and it was funny. I deserved it. We pull up, and he's like, we go in the it's funny, we're in this nice area in Equinox, and I'm an adult, and we go in the what's it called, the racquetball room on the side. And he's like, all right, bro, like square up. I was like, what? I was like, wait for what? He's like, nah, you know, he's like, I don't want to hear all that.
Talking too much trash, yeah.
He's like, he pulls up, he's like, I want to hear all that. And I was like, what? I was like, no, like, he's like, I want to hear it. I was like, he's like, square up. And I was like, no. And he's like, and like, I tried to walk out the room. I was like, I don't want to do. I was like, no, dude, like, I don't want. And he's like, all right, bro. Like, he basically blocked the door and like I gave, and he's like, all right, you don't let me hit you.
Yeah,
I forgot, and it was like in the it was somewhere, and I was like, bro,
right.
I want to get hit.
You talk shit. You get hit. That's
real shit.
Right.
And I learned that, and luckily I made, you know, like obviously, and like I walked out pounding, kind of like, you know, just like walk downstairs, like put my head down, and I came back up, and I played. And you know, and I came up to him. I think
you went from a high of high and and an immediate humbling moment right there.
Right. And and it was like nothing I could do about it because and then in my head I like went down. I remember this is just the type of person I was at that time. You know, in my head I went down. I was like, oh, I'm gonna cross him up, or I'm like all this shit. But it's like, in reality, it was like when I came back up, it took the experience of that to come back up and actually like be. And then it's, you don't like, what's that? You don't know what you got till it's gone. You know what I mean? So like I came back and he kind of like didn't really want to train with me anymore because it was like. And I was like, and I would just self-righteously justify it in my head. I'd be like, well, is it because like, and it would, all these fake scenarios. It's because I'm better than you. Which, no, that's not. Oh, it's because you're like, you know, everything to like not, and it would take me away. It took me kind of away from basketball. That's when I started kind of smoking weed more and stuff, you know, because.
What age is this?
18. I don't know, like around, like, you know, like what I mean, like teenage years. I can't.
So you're almost, you should be almost over high school at this point.
I'm out of high school.
You're out of high school at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I took the proficiency. I'm out of high school, and I was training to kind of like, I just want to get better because I like playing in the leagues with the adult leagues with everyone. You know,
was there ever a point at which, I mean, when did you first find out you were good at hoop? Because you were obviously, I saw you, you know, post, you know, training every day, and I know some of the stories you told me that you know you had the ability to at least maybe play in college at some level.
I'd say D3.
So when did you first find out that you were good at that, and what were the steps there? What was the road like that there?
Well, I found out I was good. So I was always, so what the thing is I didn't really think I was that good when I was younger because the kids I trained with, I would compare myself to like, so basically I used to train with a couple of kids. One kid played in Indiana and played at and the other kid was like his older brother played in college and he was like six, I'd say, like taller, and I would compare myself to them. So I never thought I was good enough because like, you know, and it took me then going to LA, and same thing, like I played with a bunch of guys one guy was in the NBA, now a couple other people, and it took me like playing with them and then coming back home to, not home, but like my old home, and playing with everyone to realize that that's when I got my confidence. So some about I'm not even being real, some about black people, dude. It's just like they got the wave, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you play with them enough and you start to get some juice, and like, you know, like you not
that's where your confidence. You're playing with the people that like you they look like the ones that you see in the NBA for the most part. They all college basketball. They are all the ones, right? And so when you're able to test your skill against these folks, you're like, I can hang with these cats.
Yeah, right. And I got like, you know, and then I would the trap though is what I think what takes a lot of good hoopers out, as far as, and definitely took me out, is that you get like, you play with that and you get addicted to like going playing pickup with your friends who aren't really hoopers, and like obviously off whatever.
You smoke them.
Yeah, doing what smoke with them, whatever.
No,
you know,
yeah.
you know, all of it. Yeah. you just get lazy and you go back and then it's like, how do I say it? It's like the dude it's like Uncle Rico from fucking Napoleon Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
throw a football, like whatever, like it gets like, like it that's what, and you get addicted to that feeling, and then you don't want to go back and actually, like, I didn't want to go back and work
Work hard.
harder
Right.
to get as good as like, and
Yeah.
that's what took at a young age, and then like you start going, and then you do go back and you're like, damn, I'm gassed, I'm getting washed because these dudes are hoopers, like, you know what I mean, like my other friends, they're elite in their fields, but they're not, you know what I mean, I
Right.
wanted to go off the credit of like hooping, and then I
Yeah, for
wasn't
sure.
that, and I think that's what, and then you like, oh, we get on a deep level. That's when you go in the mirror, home in the mirror, and you look in the mirror, and you look
Yeah.
at your Jordans in the closet, and you're like, I'm a fucking fraud, or I'm
Yeah.
not, or not a fraud, but like you get that feeling when you're really alone, and you look, like when I was really alone, and
Mm-hmm.
I come back and I look in the mirror, and I look at my J's, and I look at the basketball, and it just took me away because I'm like, because like deep down I wasn't willing to work at that time. You know what I mean?
For sure, absolutely, and I think that
Yeah,
a lot of us, to some degree, look back at the sports that we loved. Right, like for me, I love football. I wasn't
yeah,
athletically gifted at all, and for sure there were plays or times in practice or times in the off season that
yeah,
I regret not giving it my all, and I've kind of used those as motivations to make sure that I leave whatever
yeah,
it is out on the field, whether it's at work or in my
yeah,
personal life or in my friendships. I want to make sure that I never look back and say like I regret not giving it 110%.
mm,
And I think a lot of us that we only get that at our, once we've matured mentally. And it's crazy when you have people like LeBron, who is a phenom at 18 years old,
yeah,
and he has the ability to understand how hard he needs to work to
yeah.
get what's done.
I think it's a mentality too. And as far as like people will say it's extreme, where
Hmm.
it's like even like Kobe or LeBron, like honestly
Hmm.
on some real, it's like I'm willing to die for this. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're willing to die for basketball. No, 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 it's not even
Right.
basketball. I'm willing to die for like whatever. Like if obviously not if you're playing pickup with your friends, but
Right.
like, you know what I mean? But like if you're going into a game or you're going into, like, Kobe had that mentality, like anything, if it's serious and there's stakes on the line, and
Right.
there's things, like that's the mentality as far as it took me getting older, to where like that's the true
Hmm.
success. Like that's how you can only succeed. Like you're not, you can take whatever, but like I will take it to that limit where if your heart is, I believe, aligned with your craft,
Hmm.
whatever that be, basketball, whatever, like, and anything or that you're doing, like you are willing to die for it, and that's like the only way to get better, like, because like if that's, I don't think if that element's not there, like I look at Rudy that way from the movie, like what's that,
Hmm.
Rudy, Notre Dame. I look
Hmm.
at Rocky, like they might not be the best, they might not be the best to watch, like obviously it's going to be better watching what's his name, Odell Beckham, like
Right.
amazing, and Odell Beckham works hard too, but
Right.
like you're, when Rudy comes on the screen, if it's between, like I know Odell can do that,
Yeah.
but like Rudy, what makes Rudy so, like, and I
Hmm.
mean, and Braun's the same. Braun's like a superstar with that work ethic. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like where it's like, which makes it just the perfect mix.
Hmm.
But like Rudy, like I Rudy respect, because it's like, dang, like this dude is just willing to eat whatever
Hmm.
to get that scholarship. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, or get that, just that chance to like
Yeah.
be on the field. Like
Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Bev, yeah. I mean, and again, Patrick
He
Beverly,
does talk a lot of shit, but
yeah,
you see him working on the off season
hundred
with
percent.
the Timbs on the sand and the
100%.
beach.
He's a
So
little, yeah, he takes it,
so so then
yeah.
obviously the topic that you wanted to discuss, but where does the you know where do you kind of go off the road a little bit? If you know what I'm saying, like what are the signs that a parent or even other kids should be
Um,
looking out for? You know what I'm saying? Like where does that happen along the way? Because I listen, I feel like I'm a good judgment of character. You're a good dude. You know what I'm saying? You just obviously made some short sighted decisions along the way at
there's
some
certain
point.
Okay, so there's certain things with my journey with alcoholism. And the faith is huge for me.
Hmm.
There's certain people. Dang it, I'm gonna be 100% honest, dude. I'm gonna be 100% transparent. As far as in my journey, where you can't, for young kids, like, and it sounds, and it's far and it's hard. And if, like Gary Vee talks about it, if your parents aren't on board with like what you're doing, what your mission is,
Hmm.
do not go to them. Do not go, like, as far, no, go to them for help, but like
Hmm.
complaining, don't like. And I'm big on faith, where that element comes involved, where I go to God, and it's like, that was the thing that took me off track. Is I leaned. You can't lean on people. Like you can
No.
help people. You can be there for people.
Yeah.
You're there for me. Like, but I'm not gonna like. I can't. Same as you. You can't push all in either way for anyone, any person.
You
You
shouldn't put
can't
all your
because
eggs in
what
one
happens is
basket.
like
Right.
that. People break. I break. We're all fragile. You know what I mean? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like if that was my thing is like sought drugs. I sought that high. And
Mm-hmm.
then that love I searched for it in the wrong way. We're talking about like reverting back to like talking about love,
Mm-hmm.
and I searched for it in people where I'd feel a little love and I would get sober, I'd get better, and then
Mm-hmm.
I would put all my trust in like people and then relationship and love as being the currency, which is good because it's like good to like sure, but like then I would take my problems and honestly like I it's like hurt people, you know what I mean? And what happened was I would like there's so many. I'm just trying to keep it linear.
Yeah.
There's so many things as far as like when you're. I would say I'm a sensitive guy. I'm
Mm-hmm.
emotional. I'm a child at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely emotional. Definitely sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And that got it's me versus me. Like talk
Mm-hmm.
about like you hear it in songs. That got exposed within myself where it was like I would keep digging a hole because I would go and I would like try to pawn my my problem on someone else in sobriety, whether it be, and it could be, and it's the pettiest stuff. But like as far as for the kids, it's like
Mm-hmm.
God's real. I don't know what anyone's gonna worship. Like that's not my
Mm-hmm.
thing. But like when I took that problem and into a God, and I just was like kept putting one foot in front of the other because that's one thing I wasn't doing. And you can get lost. You can get lost in playing basketball every day. You can get
Mm-hmm.
lost in chasing women, and it's not bad. Like women aren't bad, or you can get lost in chasing money or whatever.
Just
And once you
idolizing
get
something that's not right. That's
exactly,
not healthy for you.
exactly, and if your footing, that was what got me lost. Is my footing like it's like I have a rap. There's my favorite rapper. His name is Jay Electronica. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you're familiar with him.
Of course I am.
Yeah, the goat.
Don't disrespect me like that.
So good. So he has a song. He has a song and he talks about in this line, the sobriety that hit me, and it's a freestyle he did with this guy, 19 Keys, and he talks about he's like just keep your eye on the sparrow, you'll be good in the long run. And that sparrow is like you would I look at the sparrow as like that's the messenger of my higher power, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
is. That sparrow, and then I'm not even talking about a literal sparrow. I'm talking about the sparrow is like what you have to follow. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever see a bird and you start trying to follow a bird, and if you see anything, like it could be anything, and you see some good looking woman on the side, and
Mm-hmm.
you look away, that sparrow's gonna be you're gonna have to work to get back to it. You
Right.
see, and then you see a $100 bill on the ground. You're gonna like pick it up. Sparrow's gone.
Right.
That stuff will come, but it's like the keeping like this sobriety was like I realized because I was very I was diagnosed, or we'll go back. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was younger, so I
Okay.
have a very very active mind. It goes a lot of places at once, and it's the discipline. I I got lost. I got
Mm-hmm.
Gucci Man lost in the sauce, man. It's
Yeah.
like as far as like lost in the sauce, and
Did your parents? Because I had friends that were diagnosed with ADHD around like
yeah,
elementary school, middle school, I believe, and no middle school, and the some of the parents forced them to get
okay,
on like Ritalin, I think, right?
100% perfect idea. Similar, yeah, yeah. I was on a lesser dose of it. It was called
Yeah.
Vyvanse,
Yeah.
and what happened? So my parents, oh, yeah, personal. My parents took me to a psychiatrist when I was two
Mm-hmm.
years old,
Mm-hmm.
still a baby, like
Mm-hmm.
still a baby, just because I wasn't. They perceived, I just had I had an active mind as far as and then when I was 15, 14, no, 13 actually. I think it was 13, 14. I moved to LA. I just moved to LA
Mm-hmm.
and I think I was struggling or maybe a little before. I can't time it together, but the Vyvanse, they gave me the Vyvanse and that was the stimulant. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a amphetamine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that stuff I'd say amphetamines is it's I'm not here because it works for some people. I'm sure it
Mm-hmm.
does. My experience with it is I got on it, and and it I was able to focus a little better. But the thing is it I
Hmm.
don't know. It man, it's hard. It's hard to like because I'm like one of those people who likes to stay neutral. So like I'll revert back. My experience though is like I got it and I felt I just felt an absence of like connection. Like
Yeah.
like at first
Yeah.
it was good because I could focus on what I was doing, my tasks,
Yeah.
my whatever, I was doing like playing basketball. I always had the energy to play. I always
Yeah.
had the energy to do whatever. But like it was like a slow fade where I lost connection
Mm-hmm.
with I didn't care because I didn't value friendships. Like, what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like which is crazy. Like I didn't value like anything. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was just more like I valued um adrenaline, or not even adrenaline, dopamine, I guess. Like that I just valued that pleasure where it's like
Mm-hmm.
I want to get up and move, I want to go. And I remember one day I woke up, and this is like leading into my drug journey, is I woke up and I was playing basketball and everything, and I kind of lost friendships and I didn't understand why. And energy is everything. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
that was, my friends felt it. My friends, like, I felt it. And then I was like, well, how can I saw my friends smoking weed. So I was like, how about I just start smoking weed? And it's not,
Maybe
weed's
this
not
will
the
help me.
problem.
How maybe these will help me connect with them.
Yeah. And like weed's not the problem. It was mine. Like, this is why I true, like Kendrick
Mm-hmm.
Lamar talks about it. Like, basically, like, I don't know. I heard somewhere he's talking about like we judge our character in our heart, and like God weighs our heart and my heart. And it wasn't like the weed. Like, the weed wasn't the problem. It was
Mm-hmm.
the intent of what, like, intent is everything, every
Mm-hmm.
intent is character.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to, like, I was seeking just escape, and that's for all drugs. It was. It wasn't the drug. It's like, because there's like a hierarchy in the drug world, like in the recovery community, where it's like, oh, what drug? What I mean? Like, they'll come
Mm-hmm.
in and be like, what drug did you use? Weed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a heroin. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm a ketamine. Whatever the heck, dude. And it's not
Yeah.
even like, it's dumb because it's not the drug. It's the intent. Like, behind, like, so I started using weed, and I felt getting more disconnected, and I started I started losing myself. And I don't think it was the weed, as more so was that I was really just the way my chemistry set up, the ADHD, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
neurologically, everything
Mm-hmm.
is it was taking me so far away from, like, reality of, like, or purpose,
Mm-hmm.
like, from purpose, I'd say. And and yeah, it just led into a cycle of, I back to the doctor again. They're trying to fix me, and they're trying to give me another immediate medication to fix me, and medication is not bad, but that wasn't it. Just like, what the only thing that could fix me was, like, the willingness to accept that, like accept, humble, like
Yeah.
you talking about, humbling yourself and
Yeah.
accepting, like I love Jayla. I'm gonna keep going back to him. Like, he has a
Mm-hmm.
song called "Run and Hide," where he's like, he's like, when he's like, basically, when they come with a, like, to take, you either be yourself and accept your own, or run and hide, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. It's like, that's gonna be for everyone. That's, I mean, that's what I believe. Is, if I'm gonna leave, it's like anything for anyone. My kids eventually. I don't. God willing, I have some kids. God willing, I have everything. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, it's not every, but have a life that I'm in is like, and what I tell myself as I look in the mirror, it's like, even when stuff gets hard, even when, it's like, even when I feel conflict, just with myself, with my still young, with my family, with everything,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, like, at the end of the day, it's like, you can't, and that's like, you're going back to, like, what would you tell, you can't please everyone. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, the only one you can please is, like, you're gonna find, I find that even when, like, it's hard, like, I'll be honest, they went to, I was at a place, and like, this is, I'll share openly, like, it's like, a lot of music has inspired me, a lot of culture. I like burning sage, I like
Mm-hmm.
dancing, I like doing things that are expressive,
Mm-hmm.
because I deal with a lot of, kind of childhood trauma stuff, that, like, like, and they were like, hey, you can't be doing that, and like, we need you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, or you can take an alternative, and, like, I they wanted me to have an alternative option and stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, look, that's when that line came up, where it's like, man, what, and it sounds crazy, but I'm like, you know what, I'm willing to sleep. This is just my philosophy, and
Right.
I'm
Just
not
say it. Yeah.
extreme. I'm willing to sleep on the pavement,
Right.
knowing that I can sleep at least
In
that
my
night,
own
knowing that.
freedom.
Exactly. and
Mm-hmm.
and and having God's love than having to feel like a fraud and a coward.
Mm-hmm.
Just to myself, not saying that someone who does that is. That's
Yeah.
just my own truth, my own journey, is that I'm like, that's, and through that, ironically, you know, I found it always works out. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like if you stay like it might not be immediate, and that's like
Mm-hmm.
what I sought as a younger kid. I sought that immediate pleasure, but I end up always God presents, and it might not be a huge thing. Like guys like a Fortune 500 company. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
didn't want good action, but
Right.
he's gonna make sure like 100%. I believe that you will always find refuge in like you want to call it God, you want to call it good character, good behavior, like doing the right thing. You will always find refuge in it. I truly believe, and you can always, even when you mess up, go back to it, and it will provide a shelter in some way, shape, or form to I don't know. I don't want to get too
Well,
philosophical.
what's one of those moments for you? I mean, I personally, I through the things that have happened in my life, I really believe that
Okay.
as long as I remain on my pillars of what I think is
Okay.
the right thing to do,
Okay.
and I'm a goal oriented person, and no matter what has happened in my life, I've usually tried something, failed at it, but because of the way I feel like I should have handled that situation, usually the outcome has led to better things than I ever anticipated. But I have to go through that experience of trying and failing before I can be granted that,
I got a heavy moment that I'll share with you. Where it's one of those moments where it was very difficult, and it would have
hmm
been definitely easier to take and it wasn't like a heavy thing,
hmm
but it was like or
it
surface
was
level, it
hard to
wasn't heavy.
take at the time. Yeah.
Emotionally, this is one
Right.
where okay, so I'm at a house, and I've in my past I've spent more drug use. It's very segregated as far as like the communities people use with. So there's
hmm
a lot of racist stuff. Like people just like screw Mexicans, screw black people. But
hmm
like what I mean, it's just like all
hmm
this separation. And I definitely fell victim, like obviously, because like so I would be around white people, and it's like I would just kind of like nod my head and because I needed that drug. You know what I mean?
And
Like I was
ignore the stuff you're hearing and stuff. Right.
exactly because I was a slave to the drug.
hmm
So I get sober and I start to like realize who brought you up, like
hmm
who like it was people from all communities and races and like
hmm
me, all sexualities, all whatever, like everything, like as far as like people brought me up, like black people, like I
hmm
can my game I got from everyone, and it's like
hmm
like and that was part of me that I had some shame for. So I was like, what, like I'm gonna definitely make the effort. Like, I'm not gonna be out here like trying to overcompensate with like a sign, like, because that would just be like what's it called, like clout chasing or whatever.
hmm
I mean, like, but a kid at the house, there's another client there, and he was like he would be in the kitchen, and it was ironic because he's playing. He would be playing Griselda records like Benny the Butcher and all those guys.
hmm
He's like talking about, and he's rapping outside, but he would be sitting there talking about like fuck, like the black, the this,
Yeah.
the that, fuck Allah, like at
Yeah.
that time I was kind of like exploring Islam and like seeing like the principles behind it.
hmm
It'd be like fuck Allah, fuck this, fuck that, fuck
hmm
and all this, and forgive me, I'm sorry for saying that, but like like he would basically be saying things that were just abrasive and like,
Right.
and it was very and and I checked him at it one time at the table. I was like, hey man, like look dude, like I just don't want to hear that again, like like please, like I'm at, and you keep going, and I would continue to find that because Islam, which I was practicing at the time, is a very peaceful, like the practice and faith of it is like forgive,
hmm
obviously, like don't take, like don't let
hmm
someone just disrespect you straight to your face, like,
hmm
but like, or not disrespect you, disrespect your principles or the God you or anything,
Sure.
like it's not a personal attack. But so anyway, I was in the so I was in the living room area, and I'm dancing, and anyway, this kid kind of blindsided, like he sucker punched me, what I mean,
hmm
like and it wasn't a big deal, like it was like I held him, I'm not gonna intuitively, like I understand, I was able to think quick. It's like it wouldn't be cool if I, like, that's not my purpose.
If
But
you're
like
retaliated.
it
Yeah.
wasn't even that, like because I
Right.
didn't take it personal. But what I took personal is that is like that. So after that moment, and I come to the table, and I come outside, and I guess like one of those standing on it growth is like I could go up and like I could put like show I could show all the black people, all the Mexican people that
hmm
I'm down, like, and I
hmm
could smash this, like, and just
hmm
like straight. But I'm like, damn, like that's not what the message is. I was
hmm
listening to a song by D Smoke, the rapper.
hmm
So there's a song called Fighter by him,
hmm
and it talks about, he talks about like getting in fights with like his home, like not home, but just someone across the block, all the time. And the end of it, what kind of swayed my thing was he talks about like he heard that person got shot, and he's like, damn. He's like like that no, and he still was crying in the song because he's like, dang, I used to fight no, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
And I go outside and I was able to it took it and it like I because I it was hard to separate personal because I it wasn't a personal attack. It was really like this person's sick and hurting,
Yeah.
and so being considerate of their feelings as well as like standing morally for what's right. You know what I mean? As far
Right.
as like this is what's right, and no, like you don't have the right to like sit at a table with people and then smile. Not even that. Like if you're gonna be racist, just straight be racist. Go wear a hood and go
Right.
do it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like don't smile and because there's also other people of African descent and stuff like at the house who come by
Yeah.
and don't and then they're a little more cool and they're but like in that moment like it's like it's not like I'm not on some like martyr mission to like prove that to people who are
Yeah.
black or brown or anything, but it was more like on a level of like having to go up and be like, look, like and they I saw the fear in their eye. It was like, and I think it wasn't not even me, whatever. I was like, look, I'm not gonna fight you.
Yeah.
Like I didn't come in like the fear, and it was like what it is that you like I don't even care about getting hit in the eye. That's whatever. It's like
Yeah.
I've I haven't done worse to him, but people have done worse to people. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like it's not about the hit. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. What I do care about is that like, dude, like you can't like it's like I'm gonna say I'm not gonna like just agree with you and then like because then a bunch of people came up to me like, oh, calm down, like just take it, just take it,
Mm-hmm.
and I no my like no comparison to it, but like I saw that like I got to witness the experience of people who are what's the right word persecuted for just
Mm-hmm.
things they can't even control, like
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, like you can't like what do you like what I mean, like you
Mm-hmm.
can't control the way you're born
Right.
or what God you love or what like what I mean, like
Yeah.
you can control your character, but like those things like
Yeah.
you can't control. And I remember going out to him, and it was hard because like it was like sitting there and like we had to talk, and then it was like okay, there was like a relief, and then just the perpetual like what part hurt the most was like you come back in the I came back in the kitchen, and it was like that same energy, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, like that's a battle. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't know. It was like continuing to like, because then people would like they're like, why are you being mean to him? And I wasn't. They're like, he basically made it like I could see like what slavery like he came back and he claimed that I tried to fight him again when no, like
Right.
like not at all. Like I was at the gym, and like he said I looked at him a certain way, and it's like, dude, I'm in the gym, bro.
Right.
Like we're just in the gym. It's
Right.
not. There's not at all. Not at all. There's no intent to fight you. It was more just kind of like hey, like this is like like you want to just don't bring that bullshit around here. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not you. It's not saying you get away. It's just don't bring that
Mm-hmm.
into it. Into like honestly and MP and I ended up having to get exited from the house because they're like you're making everyone uncomfortable. And I was like,
Because
dang,
of
like
that moment.
yeah, they're like you need to like go like listen or and then they were trying to get me to go see a certain what I don't know
And
like
your
they just
therapist.
therapist some and
Yeah.
they wanted me to and I was like look like I'll go see him but like I'm not gonna like as far as just for my life and what I did and this is like my way of like because we do an amends process and that's about making right with God and I was like
Mm-hmm.
look for my life my thing whatever I did I'm trying to make right with God and it's not playing a martyr because then they would like oh what do you think you're a martyr what do you think you're this you're that and I'm like no it's not I'm not playing the martyr like what I'm playing is like trying to atone and find salvation in like something that's real. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like something
Mm-hmm.
that's eternal. And yes, it comes with pain. But like that was one of those moments where it stuck because I was like, damn, like why isn't it easy doing the right thing? Why isn't it easy, like trying to do the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it hard, and why and it makes you want to use drugs because you're like you just want to throw it all away and just be like,
Yeah.
dang,
You're like, I
I
did the right thing, and this is how it turned out.
exactly, which is not that's not, and then that's another, and then I made it and what because I've gone through enough experience of in and out using,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like I've gone through the experience of making those promises over and over and over again. And I'm like this time there's no way because like every time I would try to find a loophole. Well, I'm not going to use them. I'm just going to run away. Nope,
Mm-hmm.
that's same thing. You're breaking that promise. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm just gonna hit them then. Like nope, you're
Mm-hmm.
breaking the you're breaking the promise of
Mm-hmm.
like what like what everything that you're trying to like like atone and that was like it was hard because then it finally like I dwindled all the way down to like all you're left with is like love in like
Mm-hmm.
the hardest way in the hardest way obviously not like submit and be like like oh but like just the love, like with like love. How do I describe it? Love without attachment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like where it's like you present love, but like like obviously that person came up again. Because I opened the door, I was like, hey, I think it was the right thing to do. I came up to the table. I was like, hey, man, like, look, you can't be doing the racist stuff since you did hit me in the face. Like, as far as like, I'm probably not going to hit you, but like, if you do that stuff again, you opened up that door, like where I can like
Mm-hmm.
physically, like
Yeah.
physically, like that's the even playing field. And he's like, all right, but that's not even about the fight. It's more about it's not even about the immediate fight because people are like, why don't you like do this? Why don't you get down? Why don't you do this?
Right.
And I'm like, what good would that do when it's like, I'm my God, like as far as and the people who are teaching me have taught me that it's about the bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a like obviously I can't just like wave a finger and like cure racism, but
Mm-hmm.
I can and or going out and even well like protesting is dope. Like it's all part of the steps of it. But like
Mm-hmm.
doing one good action is not gonna end it. It's the constant. It's like I feel like God like lies in the little things as far as like those little actions where it's like it's easy to demonstrate and I'm saying that's part of it, obviously. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like same
Mm-hmm.
as basketball. Like I think AI would have been the best if he would have practiced. You know what I mean? Like it
Right.
doesn't lie. He demonstrated he did so much good. Like he is the best. Like
Yeah.
in my but imagine those little times when it's like I feel like those times when you don't want to do it and you're just like, dang, this
Yeah.
sucks. And
Yeah.
that's like I feel like that's for me at least what's kept me sober is like where it's like everything is it would just be so much easier just to walk away from the journey of like self-improvement or just like I don't know how to describe it just like stop chasing your dreams for a
Mm-hmm.
minute and be comfortable or think that guy like the earth is going to give you some more stuff which is
Mm-hmm.
not bad but like just imagine how much I feel like it's like going to school. Like, it's like how much further could you get if you just put in that? Like,
Yeah.
how do you get a math? Like, it just takes time. You don't get the master's degree, the bachelor's degree, whatever you do. You don't
Well,
get that degree.
it's it's like how much how high is your ceiling, right? Like how high is the ceiling for yourself, and do you think if you put in this a little bit more work, can you get there? I mean, those are the times when I find myself complacent.
Yeah,
Is when I think I can't do much better, and this is everything: my comedy and my career,
yeah,
and even relationships. Really, you get complacent with being okay with the bullshit, being okay with the stuff that you normally wouldn't be okay with. And that's why it's so important for me to have goals. I have goals written on in my room. And it reminds me why I push through the bullshit, because things aren't going to be sweet every day, right? There might be one or two affirming things in a month or
yeah,
in a year. But you do it for the end goal, and
yeah,
and again,
yeah,
but once again, every time I've reached my end goal, it hasn't been what I expected. But but it happened for a reason, and that journey was more so. It was almost about the journey more so than the actual what I was trying to get to.
I
Um,
have a tattoo. Yeah, right
yeah.
there that says it. And I was thinking about the guy from Apple. So like,
Mm-hmm.
remember, there's three founders. I think it was Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Not familiar with the other guy's name, and I think there was a third guy. I know
Mm-hmm.
the third guy's story. Because they started it, and he sold it. He had like 10% stock in it, and he was like, "Dang, this is cool." And the immediate gratification, which was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he got, like 1 million, maybe a little more. It
Yeah.
was a lot of money for sure. Like it was a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
but do you want to be that guy or do you like? And Steve Jobs is grinding, like, dang, like I don't care, like we're taking,
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking this to the top, and just I'm gonna keep going
Mm-hmm.
regardless. And it was like you look at it, and it's like that guy in the history, but like you said, I don't remember that guy's. I'm not saying he's a
Yeah.
bad guy or whatever. I don't
No.
remember his name.
Right.
I don't. Who do you know? Steve Jobs. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and I'm like that's the dedication. Like, as far as like, it's like the person like sure, it's gonna come with struggle. Like, and like you're saying, the affirming things. It's like, man, you go through some heartache, some hard stuff, and sometimes I'm wrong, dude. I sin sometimes. Sometimes I'm not as gentle as I should be. Maybe I could be, maybe I could have prevented getting punched in the face, whatever.
Right.
Like maybe I could have, and I'm not saying maybe I could have prevented having some to move and the way I handled it wasn't the best,
Mm-hmm.
but the intent was like I don't it's like it's not even about the money, it's about the growth as far as just a person and like laying a foundation of something that's so good for like for people who come after me, you know,
Yeah.
or people who get sober after me. And,
Right.
and all in that mission, all in that journey, all in that journey of trying to find the perfect, this one's a tattoo about cherry blossom, trying to find the perfect cherry blossom. You know,
Mm-hmm.
within it, there's atonement. Within it, there's those moments of like you can't get a rainbow without the rain. Like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? If it was sunny every day,
Mm-hmm. You would never see
ain't
a
gonna be.
rainbow. Right.
Mhm.
So what's your current raving right now, man? What's the raving that's keeping you going through, waking up every day, going through the hard process of everything you're going through? What's that raving right now?
I got some. So right now, I got some people that I love very dearly. As far as at this house, I hang out with my mom. I love my mom very dearly. I mean, it's basic stuff because it's like obviously early recovery. It's not serious, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like I get to hang out with my mom, and I'm not high. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like obviously like, you know, families sometimes can be tough. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's a you sometimes it's easy to resent them because of the
Of
closest people
course.
to you,
Of course.
but the love that I do have for him, and, you know, and like is so like and what makes me sleep at night is like knowing that I would lay down my life for my brothers. My
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you know, I don't have any brothers, but like I call them my brothers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people in the house, and you know, and I call them, they're my brothers now. You know, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
sober. I call them, you're my brother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom is my mom. My dad's my dad. Even though there's like, but what keeps me going is like that. Damn, like I look in the mirror and I'm like, you're all right. You're good. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you may not have always been good, and you have a lot of mistakes and a lot of stuff you're still healing through and growing
Mm-hmm.
through, but you're good in the sense of like that you are willing to like Nipsey Hustle, dude. Like, damn, I'm frontline if it's wartime. Like, not like war. There's not gonna be no war. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
not like a fight. I'm not talking about no physical fight or anything like that, or war like that. But the internal war, like you're frontline. Like you're. I'm not looking to like, sure, like I get angry, but I'm not looking to hide from like what. Um, I'm good. I'm doing a little thing with my friend. If that's all right. We'll go to the meeting. Are you gonna go to the meeting tonight? Okay, cool. But like my friend who walks in, he wants to like to listen with my friend, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like we're doing this, but I get to live with my boy, dude. Like
Yeah.
people of all like religions. He's a Jew. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm
Yeah.
half Jewish, so it's cool. But like, you know, it's like we get to talk about Judaism,
Right.
whatever, you know.
That's cool.
But I
Yeah.
get to and I get to learn every day. I get to expand. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. It was like it was hard in early recovery. You know, I resorted back to a lot of, and I still do. It's like I'm comfortable. Like I listen to the same music. I listen to
Mm-hmm.
a lot of music, but I listen to the same music a lot. I listen. I don't like, you know. It's like I do the same. But like this recovery, I'm like, dang, like how you? I get to learn every day. I get to learn. I've learned some Arabic, dude. Like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like from studying that practice of Islam. I've learned
Yeah.
some Arabic. I can speak I
Get.
can't speak it a lot, but I like listen to man, the greats, Damian Marley, you know, Bob Marley, Skip Marley,
Mm-hmm.
Sean Kingston. I'll put him in there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Sean Kingston, one of the greats. Pop Can, like all those dudes, you know, can make
Right.
it. And I'm like over here speaking like what like, but you know, like, oh boy, hey, you know, Patois, dude. Like what
Right.
the hell? Like white, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not tight. Like that wouldn't happen getting
Right.
loaded, dude. Like, you know what
Right.
I mean? Like
Right. Right. Right.
that's the gifts in it, and people like, yes, you can say it's funny or not saying you, but like people be like, I don't care.
Right.
I'm here to learn.
Right.
I'm here to learn, and that's what makes me happy. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like learn and love, and like that's my God. Like I don't know. I don't want to bring too much because this is like,
I
you
mean,
know, comedy. Like
it's your story though. This
yeah,
I mean, this is about you.
yeah. My love of God for sure. My love of
Mm-hmm.
God. My love to learn. My love. I get to play basketball. I get to do the things I'm valuing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I see I have friends that I see them in a new light, you know, like, and I'm like, dang, like, what, you know what I mean? Like friends
Yeah.
that I got sober with before that, like, I always thought were like, I didn't, because I was so selfish. I was so like, I just wanted to be free from my own pain and like, I'm gonna get sober and then leave you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And run away, you know, like, and now like I got sober this time and I started trying to learn. I started trying to see my experience and how I impacted other people around me, my friends, what they experienced, so that I could get to know them better and
Mm-hmm.
maybe be of usefulness on their journey of sobriety. And I saw them in a light where I was like, these are friends that I've had before, you know, a couple of guys from the old house, even where they kicked me out. But I
Yeah.
saw them in a light where I was like, these are the most, like, it makes me cry. Like, these are the most, and it's kind of, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like whatever you want to call it, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it's
These are good
it
people
makes
though.
good people, and these are the best people that these are people along like they might not have known me for a long time, but what's that like? Some people you just met can have better intentions for
Hmm.
you than people you know in your whole life. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
I mean that's the same. Like, but like and I see that like these are people that I've met and then like kind of interacted with whatever like see them in the rooms at AA and then see them out and then I start to learn like the more you stay sober you get to see their journey more and becoming less selfish. Like that's a constant battle for me. I'm still obviously I'm a selfish like we Western culture we're selfish. I,
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm selfish at heart. At least I was
Yeah.
conditioned to like in any way, shape, or form. It always kind of popped up. And like when I lived in Beverly Hills, it was about the cars, the
It's
clothes.
just a
Um,
materialistic society. We care about a lot of things that really don't push society forward other than pushing
yeah.
our own selfish
Or
gains.
I'll give you an example. I grew up with a friend who one of my closest friends when I was younger. He was from Crenshaw, and and his like real love, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a good dude, and like sure, like he kind of like because I mean he was from an area where it was very rough, and then like the like materialistic in a sense is like I valued him because of like how hard he was. You know what I mean? Like not like that. That sounds weird. I valued the
No, I
gangster.
got what
Yeah,
you're saying though.
yeah, fuck that. Yeah, sorry. Pause. Hella pause on
Pause.
that. I'm trying to be like spiritual without, but then like I might as well just say it blatant. Yeah, I valued the fact that motherfucker was like cold. Like
Yeah.
like, he was a gangster motherfucker, dude. And I valued that. And instead of like valuing like then I'm reverting back to like the Bay where it's like love is the currency. It ain't about how hard you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I valued that in him. And then like I go back and I don't get to see him. I hope you like it's like I pray the best, but like like and I can't even find his Facebook. I would reach out, but like it's more like I value I get to go back and heal myself by seeing him as like that was like through all adversity that was a real one. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like that was a real person, and it heals myself because it's like the less selfish you get. Like I just used to see him as like he's a good football player, and he associates with whatever like
You
he
know what's cra-
associates with gangster
you
shit.
know what's
Yeah.
crazy is just thinking about all the people that have left an impact on you, whether it's positive or negative, or maybe that negative thing that they did left a positive impact on you, and then just thinking like, do you think those same people that know that impact that you left on them?
I don't know. I look back and I it's hard to because I look at myself, man, and like I'm my own biggest critic, Like I
Yeah,
don't like before I judge anyone else, like sure, I'm human, I judge people. I don't
yeah.
judge people, I judge the character. But I judge my own character, trust me. Like
Hmm.
like if anyone's thinking that like within my community, I'm like but like people around me, like I don't the first one I judge and the first one I get hit that definitely gets the highest amount of like what's
Criticism.
it called criticism
Hmm.
or I don't know the right word, but yes, criticism is
Hmm.
myself because and I look at that and that sometimes does separate me from connecting with people because
Hmm.
I'm like the deeper I heal, the deeper
Hmm.
it's like the deeper I connect with people from my old friends or not even like the deeper I see my experience like and and even if they do say like oh man like the deeper I see like
Do you think at
myself
some point it gets to a sabotage point though? You're right, where like
have
there's what's it called? It's there's like a critical uh there's like criticism, it's healthy criticism, constructive criticism, right? Where you're
yeah.
like, all right, well, what did I do wrong and how can I make it better? But then there's a point where you go too deep and it's a fine line, but then you start damaging yourself from being overcritical of some of the mistakes and wrongs that you may have done.
Yeah, yes, but it's also like I write poetry,
Hmm.
and I would consider it part of the creative process.
Hmm.
I love referencing artists, man. There's this artist Marlon Craft, and he has this one freestyle on Funk Flex. He just bodies it like
Hmm.
11 minutes of just straight real. And he talks about he's like I used to he's like I used to cry and bump Man on the Moon in its entirety. It's like over the things that ate me up privately.
Hmm.
And like who knew that like one day like like the things that people love about me were the things that ate me up. Or
Hmm.
as far as that. And like 100% true. Maybe I don't bump, I bump some of the songs. I bump the song Man on the Moon. But like in my room crying and like
Hmm.
I'm man enough to admit that I sit in my room and I cry and I
Hmm.
like heavy but I know it's part of the release. Like back to
Mm-hmm.
J Electronica, like the tears are an angel kissing you. Like, the tears are like angels from the heart or something like that, and the tissue is
Mm-hmm.
an angel kissing you in the dark. Something like that, where it's like it's talking about like it's not bad to as long as you don't say like you like the sabotage. I feel is like avoiding the healing as well, which I used to do as well. Where it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a justification. Like instead of okay, so you're not going to run, you're not going to fight because you feel that's wrong, but you're going to sabotage yourself. It's like the last layer of like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like internalizing it instead of like fully giving it up to the universe,
For
Like,
sure.
like that's how I kind of see it.
Mm.
Trust me, yeah, had moments.
So So, all right, man. So you're what halfway through the 365 journey, which you initially said that you were looking towards. Fast forward another 100 some days to be to
Yeah,
365, or 200 days. What do you
yeah.
hope? What do you hope? What do you hope to that looks like for you?
Mm,
And what's it going to
dang.
take for you to get there is the second question.
Dang. I think just one step at a time, of course. You know, dang, I get, yeah, blocked off because there's a lot, man. There's a lot. I can't. That's what I mean. Like, like it's going into like our organs. It's cool. Our organs are dictated by our emotions.
Hmm.
So it's like if like like basically like when we start getting cramps up or swelling
Hmm.
up, and right now like my throat is kind of swelling up because there's so much and it's like I know if I go into it it's gonna distract me from like the one step at a time. As far as which like my mind my heart's telling me like hey one step at a time and 200 and that I just hope to have a year sober like and whatever that comes with if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for
Like
sure.
that's I think that's the easiest way to put it. It's like not even about like like oh this I want to it's more just you know in 230 days just a year sober and continuous one step in front of the other. What I mean? Like so
For
whatever that
sure.
looks like, it would be those two things. It would be what sure a job would be cool, all that stuff, yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Like it's not like I'm gonna be like I want to just like be free and like sit on
Hmm.
like no, I'm gonna take steps to like do what I need to do.
Hmm.
But like the most important thing is like I want three things. My relationship with God to be the same, and however that manifests. It might not be a suit like like I was praying 5 times a day at one point. I was in that faith, but
Yeah.
it might not look like that. It might look like using those principles and using what I learned. But definitely like connection with God. Two, like one step in front of the others, and then three is God willing that in those days like a year sobriety. Like
Yeah. And so I like to end these conversations with a cheesy question. So what's the legacy you hope to leave?
can't do
something
that,
something light,
dude. It's
something
such a
light,
like
something
cheesy
light,
question.
something light,
Oh man.
something light. What's the legacy you
Legacy.
hope Harrison
All right. I want a
Finnerman is
legacy.
gonna
I want a
leave?
song. I want a song. Okay. I want to. Well, I'll be cheesy back. I want to do a song where I do a poem,
Hmm.
and it's BB. BFB the Pac Man
Hmm.
who does Free Joe Exotic, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want a song. I can't
Oh,
be.
that's
I
so
don't know. It's cheesy.
read
Like
Joe
I do.
Exotic. That's so
I
funny.
do. I do a poem. I do a poem.
So
I do a
funny.
poem on the song. I do a poem on the song, and it's a song, and that's our. And this is obviously not. This is just joking around. No, I want a real legacy. I want to. Dang, I want to travel. I want to write poetry, of course. I want my poems, and I want my How do I say it? I want my favorite. So anyone that it would be cool. Anyone in my like, say I have a wife, kids,
Hmm.
all that. I want my favorite poets and my favorite people's words to continue. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I as being an artist, I want their words and their prayers and and everything that inspired me to better myself and be the best man I can be. I want that influence to be strong, like foundation in my family's life. That's all I can do. It's my
Hmm.
immediate family. I want that. I want my like I want all that. I don't care about like stats. I don't. I don't. What am I gonna put up 40 in a rec league? I don't care about that.
I hope the fans were 62 in a rec league.
Oh yeah, dude. Like what?
Yeah,
What? Like
yeah,
people go home and are serious about that shit. They're like, oh, like no, or they think that you like
yeah.
you care about it. Like
No,
and
not at
like yeah,
all.
it's nice. It's nice for the day.
Yeah,
Like whatever. But that's not. I don't. I
no.
don't like Kobe. I don't even think Kobe was like Kobe, yeah, of course, like he was like, like when people would try to test him,
Yeah.
like I remember when Jalen Rose came up to him in that commercial, and he's like, "How many
Right.
olives do you want?" He's like, "What did he say? Like 61 or whatever." He
Yeah.
dropped on him. He's like, "I'll take
80.
61 olives."
Yeah.
But like people try to test you. Yeah. I don't got, I don't got many like I got wishes, like prayers, but like keeping it humble. Like I just want to be a good man. That's it. That's it. I want to atone and be a good man. That's it. That's all. That's all.
For sure, man. Well, honestly, bro, I appreciate you opening up with this really tough topic. I thank you for reaching out. And man, I mean, seriously, I haven't
Yeah.
seen you in a couple of years, man. So I'm glad you even gave me this time, for real, for real.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate you too.
yeah,
And
man.
definitely what you're doing. This is rad.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, keep pushing on, man. For real. It's this seeing any one of my friends push through whatever they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Whatever journey it is, it's always helpful to see. So keep pushing, bro. I appreciate you.